Hello everyone, welcome to Safe Space. I'm your host Solarian. Oh, and I'm a bit far away. Okay, let's start this again. Hold on. Okay, give me a second. Alright. Hello everyone, welcome to Safe Space. I'm your host Solarian. And today we gonna play the tank Paladin in some Mythic plus 16 keys. Let's see. Pull the man 16 it is. Hello everyone, welcome to Safe Space. I'm your host Silverian. We are doing an Uldaman 16 key. Have fun. Alright, everyone is ready. Pull timer and go.
4, 3, 2, 1.
So this week we have Trish week. Need to be a bit careful with the trash.
Within the depths of Uldaman lies a vault that holds a disc of Keeper Tyr's memories.
Interrupt.
Find that disc and bring it back to me. It may contain the knowledge we need to regain our strength.
Dispel. Run. Interrupt.
Careful with the basilisks. They have a debuff for the tank.
Interrupt.
Don't pull too much.
Dispel. Run. Interrupt. Interrupt. Interrupt.
So this week we have volcanic and ghosts.
What's this?
If you see the ghosts, slow them. You don't need to kill them.
We've been digging down
You
here
can kite
so
them,
long,
they are
I
losing
can't
health
even
on
think
their own.
straight.
No one steals from us! Time to teach these lunkheads a lesson!
Interrupt. Run.
Let's talk about the first boss. It's a little council fight. We are fighting 3 dwarves. Interrupt Olaf. One of the dwarves is jumping. After the jump, move
Interrupt.
towards the jumping area so you can cleave them.
Run.
They hop on the boat. And red puddles will spawn. Avoid those. Healer has mana. 3, 2,
I
1,
have a
go.
quiver full of swords, and I know how to throw them.
Charging.
Call me the
Move.
Skullcracker!
On boss weeks, it is an option to go to the totem boss first and then do the dwarves.
Time to move this thingy. Now the party's starting. Here we go. Time to move this thingy.
Did
Charging.
somebody order
Move.
a Skullcracker?
Watch your feet. Watch your feet.
Hop in and let
Good.
me, okay, we give up.
You know, I think that tussle actually helped clear my head. Much obliged, stranger.
Interrupt.
We'll lend you a hand after we get our bearings.
We
Interrupt.
pulled pretty aggressive at the start, so we are not forced to pull aggressively right now.
Interrupt. Interrupt.
Basilisks, again, keep an eye on your tank
Dispel.
and interrupt them if possible. Alright, let's talk about
Run.
the next boss. It's the totem boss. From time to time he spawns a
Interrupt.
totem, kill it as fast as possible. He spawns some ads. One of that
Interrupt.
ads is in range, usually on the right side. Try to distance interrupt it,
Interrupt.
so it comes in the melee camp and gets cleaved.
Run.
And from time to time the boss
Run.
has a big circle around him. Move out of that.
Run.
Kill the ghosts so your healer can drink. Good.
Bromark, the chief here, gonna smash you! Get out here and smash him!
Range on the right side.
Watch your step. Interrupt. Attack totem.
Kill the totem as fast as possible.
Now you see a chieftain's power! Stonewall Trogs, attack!
Range kick star.
Watch your step.
Move out.
Interrupt. Attack totem. Watch your step.
Kill the totem. Move out of his circle.
Now you see a chieftain's power! Get out here and
Good.
smash him!
Range kick. 1 star.
Interrupt.
And then. Okay. So, trash till the next boss fight is not very deadly. Careful, you as a tank can get a nasty debuff
That frog has been a real pain.
from
We know how to open the
from
door,
those guys.
but that ugly rockhead always kept us out.
Want to see something nifty? What's this?
Tears
They
Martyrs
are
mustache.
casting
Another locked door.
an ability. They have just that one, and as soon as it's
Charge!
gone through and you are standing next to him,
Well,
you get the
this
nasty
Miss
debuff.
Luckhead got the door
So
open.
my advice would be just
We better go on
backpedaling
while Olaf recovers.
slowly, so you move automatically out of the distance. You don't get the debuff. Should you get the debuff, use a def CD, and for your healer, single target heal. Alright, let's talk about the next boss. It's the ball boss. People leave balls behind, like ball circles, and the tank needs to move the boss through those circles to get rid of the stacks. As soon as he has no stacks and gets dragged into another ball, he is stunned. You can use your personal stuns to get rid of the stacks, or to stun the boss if he has no stacks anymore.
Will not enter this hallowed place.
3, 2, 1, go.
Keeper Tyr's secrets will be
Try to put them in the middle of the room. For a healer, careful, one target
Looking back.
gets chosen and gets a lot of single target damage. He needs spot healing. Right now you see it on my interface, it's on the Demon Hunter.
Strength. Halt! You will go no further.
Knocking back.
Must regain strength.
Knocking back.
Just kite the boss all the time.
Stop where you are.
Knocking back.
Careful on boss weeks,
Knocking
don't
back.
get rid of the stacks too fast. At 100% energy he does his ability. Try to stun
You will
them
go no further.
there. But
Knocking back.
during he is while he is reaching his 100% energy, cause he gets stacked.
Special coming.
Must regain strength. His memory.
So each time we stun him and he does more damage.
You.
Alright, Trash from now on has usually for the melees a frontal,
All I
so
see
careful
are
with
bones.
that.
Crowd control.
Maybe we can find
We're
a few
pulling here
treasure
two
maps.
groups
We'll have a
together.
look while you go on
Crowd
ahead.
control.
Use CDs here.
Crowd interrupt. 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 Crowd control. Crowd control. Interrupt. Interrupt.
Alright, we're gonna do another big pull. Again, those guys have nasty frontals for the melees.
Dispel.
You can, as a tank, you can go in this corner here.
Dispel.
Alright, on the next pull we will have...
Crowd
Okay,
control.
one died, no problem. Can happen.
Interrupt. Crowd control.
On the next pull we see the next type of trash in this dungeon.
Dispel.
It's a golem, and we have two types of golems
Crowd control.
in this dungeon. The first type is on the next pull, it's just an HPS check. Out heal his damage. You cannot line of sign, you cannot mitigate that damage. Just heal through it. From time to time you will leave puddles behind. Move out of them as
Watch
fast
your
as possible.
step. Interrupt.
Later on we will meet the other type
Crowd
of
control.
golem.
AoE income.
That
Dispel.
damage is
Interrupt.
avoidable.
Watch your step. Interrupt. 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 Watch your step. Crowd control. AoE incoming. Interrupt. Dispel. Watch your step. Crowd Watch your step.
As soon as you die in this dungeon, you have a teleport
incoming.
system in place.
Interrupt.
Just talk to
Watch your
the
step. Interrupt.
drill. It's a big
Dispel.
drill. You always spawn at the start of the dungeon.
Crowd
Use the
control.
drill and use the
Watch your
last
step.
option to get back to your group.
AoE incoming.
The spiders have poison and the bats have silence. Alright, let's talk about the next boss. He has two phases. In the first phase we fight him. In the second phase we fight his minions. In the first phase he spawns, not he, but his minions spawn some swirlies. Those swirlies move around in the room. Try to avoid those at all costs. You as a tank can soak them if you want to help your friends out. He has a frontal, don't face him to the group. Second phase, he moves to the middle, hides beneath a bubble,
Protocol. Defend.
and we need to kill his minions.
Defensive.
Those minions that have a red shield around them right now.
Spread.
Acquired.
Spread.
Enemy marked.
Defensive. Laser on you.
Incinerating
Run.
undesirable elements.
Alright, finish him.
Defensive.
Enemy
Spread.
marked. System shut down.
Later on hierarchies, let's say 20 and upwards, you probably cannot soak
Whoa! Look
the
at all
swirlies
this stuff!
anymore,
You can
especially
keep
on
searching
boss
for
rank.
whatever it is you folks are
Alright,
after.
so here we have the
Yeah,
second
we're calling dibs on this
type
room.
of
Safe
golem.
travels all.
You can line of sight
Crowd control.
his damage. He will
Crowd
cast
control.
something, exactly, Thunderous Clap. Before the cast goes through, use line of sight to negate the damage.
Crowd control. Crowd control.
Alright, on the next pull we will have another golem, just like this one. Use this corner here for line of sight. Drag him back so it's
Crowd
easier to go
control.
around the corner.
Interrupt. Crowd control. Crowd control. Crowd control.
Alright, let's group up a bit. Healer is soon here again. Okay, reds. Disable some medals. Alright, on the next pull we have a bubble guy. Don't stand beneath his bubble and drag the ants out of that bubble. Careful, a lot of ads have frontal cleaves. Careful as a melee, especially. We are taking those guys with us, so later on we can use and skip. I will show you. Careful, those guys here have a problem. Alright. On the next pull we have 2 golems. Very important to use line of sight here. You can use this corner downstairs. You can use the corners upstairs. Just please move around the corner. Help your healer. Good. On the next pull we have again such a line of sight golem and a dwarf with bubble again. Don't stand beneath the bubble. Careful, the guys have frontal again.
I fear I will have to deny your queen her
Move
prize.
out.
The disc you seek will be mine.
You can use line of sight with the pillars.
Dispel.
Alright. So here as a tank, be careful not to pull too much. It's okay to pull those guys and one beneath, but try not to pull two time reavers at the same time. They give the whole group a debuff. It is stacking. The healer needs to rotate his dispel. I mean, with that he needs to take every time another player in target for dispelling, else the debuff stacks too high. You can use line of sight to get rid of the debuff, to not get another stack, so it runs out. And the others have just a little speed debuff,
Dispel.
not that important. Okay, he is down, so we can continue. We don't need to kill everything in this dungeon. We take the non-elites on the right, the non-elites on the left, and the Time Reaver. And that's it. After that, we skip the last two Time Reavers. If you're a mage, you can use your invisibility. If you have maybe a rogue in the group, you can use your shroud for the whole group. Yeah, you as a single player can use your invis spot. Yeah, sure, but there's another way to skip those guys here. You move towards those pillars. You can decide which side, it doesn't matter. I use usually the right side. You stand exactly, you jump, so you stand exactly between the wall and the pillar, and then just forward moving and jumping. Here again, jump, and while you are in the air, you do forward moving. Alright, everyone made it in. Let's talk about the end boss. He has a frontal, careful with that. He spawns swellies on the ground, move out of that zone. But at some point everything goes grey, so the swirlies. During the time in the swirlies you get 50, I think 50 haste. But only during the time where everything is grey.
Defensive.
Move inside. And let's go to the other corner of the room.
Defensive.
I use oftentimes the square tactic, so basically I start in one of the corners. That's the first point of the square, and I continue my journey.
Defensive.
I use that in general for many things.
Knocking
It
back.
works usually out.
Defensive.
We need to step in a puddle very soon. And inside a puddle. Someone died, we have a battle rats, no problem. Can happen. Next corner.
Knocking back.
Sooner or later he is coming, just be patient.
Defensive.
Alright. We did it. Thank you very much for the run. Thanks for watching. And see you next time. Bye. I mean, the stream is still going. I think I will do another run. Alright, I will take a little break. A little toilet break. See you soon. Hello everyone, and we are back. Nice. Alright, let's do another dungeon. $16. What do we have here? We already did an Uldaman today, so let's go for something else. Neltaros 16. Russian boys in this group. Okay.
My friend, our history to... I bring the future generation of a new, uncorrupted black dragonflight. Surely you'll aid us in our efforts to settle here on Azeroth.
Okay. Let's repair. I'm still a bit damaged
Many deals for
from
a
the last
friend of the
dungeon.
Brummels, like you. Good fortune to our friends.
And let's go in. As soon as this key starts, I'm gonna do an introduction for YouTube. Alright, everyone was ready. Let's start the dungeon.
4, 3, 2.
Hello everyone. Welcome to Safe Space. I'm your host Silverian, and this is another dungeon. This time we have Meltaros 16. So let's talk about the dungeon. First few groups are not that dangerous, it's just very important to interrupt important stuff. The stone golems here can turn to lava golems if the cast from Star, my target right now, goes through. We want to avoid that at all cost.
Shockwave.
This week we have Trash Week, Volcanic, and Ghosts. For Volcanic, just do side steps, and for the Ghosts, you can CC them, you can slow them, but they are losing health on their own. So you can actually kite them, and that's good enough. Very important on this pull. Again, interrupt Star, else he turns
Watch your step.
the stone golems or elementals to fire elementals, and they give a nasty debuff.
Interrupt. Watch your step.
So this week we have Ghosts. It is a good advice. Usually, if somebody dies, just release, because to be able to ret you, we need to kill all the ghosts.
Watch your step.
And that takes quite a long of time, especially on trash weeks. Not because of the ghosts, but of the trash. Okay, let's talk about the next pull. We have again Star to interrupt, else he turns elemental into fire elemental. Alright, let's talk about the first boss.
Step.
From time to time he charges a player. Usually he runs against a wall. Careful. Waves are coming out of him or the wall. Dodge those waves at all time. They are very dangerous. Use Death City if you need to go through them. Try to avoid them. We have puddles on the ground, avoid those. And don't let the boss stand inside one of those puddles. He gets buffed up.
Shockwave.
Oh yeah, and from time to time he chooses a player and does a frontal. You cannot do stuff with that. Just don't blow your friends. Move the frontal. Avoid those waves. Very important. Especially on boss weeks, it's very deadly.
Shockwave. Charging, move.
Avoid the waves. Don't move towards the boss. It's okay to just survive. Keep on living.
Shockwave.
DPS is important, yes, but stay alive.
Charging, move.
Avoid the waves one more time.
Shockwave.
Good. Alright, now we jump downstairs. We see another important mechanic from the dungeon very soon. I'm talking about those burning chains. You as a tank crash next to the chains. People and you can take the chain and then you move through the trash and you damage them. It's actually like the boss with the
Watch your
spears.
step.
But now you can choose to pick the chains for yourself. Go through them. Good. It is an option to go at the start from the dungeon to the right, do big pulls here to the first chain that you saw, or a chain
Shockwave.
behind there at blue. It's an option. You don't need to do that. Usually these routes
Enrage.
work till 20. I did it till 20 like this. It's okay.
Interrupt.
Now Thaurus belongs to the Kalashi now.
Watch your step.
Yeah, another chain if somebody wants to use it.
Shockwave. Interrupt. Watch your Enrage.
On boss weeks you can usually pull a bit more. Trash looks very big in this dungeon, but it's not alright. Or more likely, like in this corner of the dungeon, it looks very big, but it's not that dangerous.
Watch your step.
Alright, let's talk
Shockwave.
about the next boss. Surviving here, especially as DPS, is very
Watch your
important.
step.
As soon as one DPS
Watch your step.
dies, it gets much harder. So, for the tank, here's a frontal for you. Don't face the group.
Enrage.
3
Watch your
people
step.
get chosen. It's always the DPS, as long as they are alive. You will leave a puddle behind. In the middle of that puddle is a
Watch your
spear.
step.
You are connected with that spear through a chain. You need to run through the boss to get rid of the chain. Careful, for each chain breaking, the group gets a debuff, quite a lot of damage. Don't, especially in boss weeks, don't
Watch where.
break all 3 chains at the same time. If you do, use a death cooldown, help your healer.
Watch wave.
So, chains are coming.
Chain boss.
Careful. You have 2 stacks. Now, the last one. You as a tank can help. Move the boss, but you're basically 50% of the equation. The other 50% are the DPS players. So, if you can help with moving, help out. Alright. That was this boss. Should be a safe
Watch
kill,
where.
but we will see.
Watch wave.
To the ground with you.
Right. We are always pulling next to chains, because maybe somebody wants to use them.
Watch your step.
And like
Shockwave.
this we have them.
Enrage.
You see in the party frame who has used chains. Right now, sadly nobody, but it's okay. We just finished our boss fight. We get another opportunity to use the chains. Pull this whole room here.
Shockwave.
And here is
Shockwave.
another set of chains. If you look at
Watch your step.
the party frame right now, you can see people used the chains very well. That's good. Just kill in on elites, and you can let the guy sleep, you can drag him upwards for percentage. Usually at the end we need to, before we start the end boss or after the end boss, we need to do percentage. Let's move upstairs and talk about these guys. These guys leave puddles behind, drag them out.
Watch your step.
We are not pulling the big guy in the middle.
Shockwave.
As you see, they have front
Interrupt.
walls
Watch your step.
as well. We are pulling the patrol.
Charging. Move.
Patrol is okay. It's a me,
Shockwave.
Mario. Right.
Charging. Move.
We are also pulling. You can chain
Shockwave.
pull those guys. We need to kill them sooner or later. You can actually jump downwards after the boss,
Watch your step.
after the smith, and kill them downstairs if you want. Just jump down and they are following you.
Watch your step.
I right now do the whatever route. I don't care
Watch your
that much
step.
about the route right now. I'm just playing the game. Right, so this big guy
Watch your
we are
step.
skipping. Just hug the wall and you should be fine. I'm pulling these guys here.
Shockwave. 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 Charging. Move.
If you stand as a tank next to this ledge,
Watch your step.
you pull the trash from beneath.
Charging. Move. Watch your step. Watch your step. Watch your step. Charging. Move.
Right? So this group, this patrol is usually very dangerous. Many people tend to skip them. If you skip them, you need to pull this group for percentage and to have a clear boss room. Let's talk about this boss here. For you as a tank, he takes you and throws you away. Use a movement speed ability after the landing. You will leave behind a big circle. Don't stand in it. Don't let anybody stand in it. From time to time, he gives everybody a debuff or something like that, and they spawn lines of little swirlies. Avoid that.
Special coming. Watch your step.
You can basically move afterwards towards the anvil
AOE
and
incoming.
tank the boss there.
Let's see what I have for you.
And you can get kicked back in the same puddle, but be very, very careful. You need to use your speed
Special
ability very soon, like now. I'm already in the air with the horse. I just got one little sound from get the fuck out. Well, I think I didn't take kick
AOE
damage.
incoming.
A weapon brought just for you.
Special coming.
Hammer you into shape.
Good.
Watch your step.
Now I took damage 100%. Alright. Wait for the patrol, and then you can move upwards. I think my Steam account did some downloading in the background. I mean, yeah, my FPS are usually not that good, but god damn, they were low. I really should close stuff in the background with this potato. Move backwards to avoid fall damage. Let's talk about the next pool. They push you around a bit. And they have a frontal. Don't face the group.
Pushback incoming. Shockwave. Shockwave.
Alright, next pull. Interrupt star. So this week is trash week. You just take those two guys and you're fine. On boss week you can chain pull into the next group if you want. Should be doable.
Interrupt. Shockwave.
Interrupt star.
Pushback incoming. Shockwave.
At last, Emberstoke, the
Interrupt. Pushback incoming. Shockwave.
We need more percentage, as usual.
Shockwave.
We will kill the boss afterwards. Let's talk about the boss. From time to time he spawns a bubble. Out of that bubble, a bubble spawns a little slime. That slime is chasing a player. Help your friends.
Interrupt.
Stun the slime, slow it down, kill it as fast as possible. You need to pick up some gold
Shockwave.
piles. You get a random weapon. With that random weapon you can destroy his bubble. Like I said, from time to time he gets a bubble and you need to destroy it. And it's much easier with the weapons from the gold pile. As soon as he is stunned, he gets 100% more damage. It's a good time to use your offensive cooldowns there.
An embarrassment of riches.
You as a tank can already look a bit around.
Come forth and consume.
That's the red puddle with the mob. Focus it down, help your friends.
Can't beat the heat.
Good. Use your weapon. There are different kinds. With one you do a charge. Careful with that one. Usually in the melee camp we have a lot of puddles that we need to avoid. We have something to throw. Me, for example, I had a circle around me. Alright. We are at 99%. We still need some trash. We're moving upstairs. Marking this guy over here. And focusing him down.
Shockwave.
Alright. Well, that's it. Thank you very much for watching. And see you next time. Bye. Alright, and that was the stream for today. I will maybe stream another time later, we'll see. Thanks very much for watching and bye!